Isn't it sad how some of these people, how they miss it? They miss the greatest president of all time. I'm going to come back to this in just a second. What I want to point out to you here is you see what they're trying to do. Understand the strategy. Distract and dilute the efforts and the money going into legal fees, dilute the attention, the time. Instead of this man going out there having rallies, campaigning, hitting the road, getting the voters, motivating the voters, winning the primary, instead of have him sitting in a courtroom every day from morning to night. Have a meeting with his attorneys every day that they got to come up with arguments and finalize witnesses and documents and everything and respond to all kinds of inquiries. That's the strategy. They know. The other side knows this is legal garbage. Not a single thing was done wrong here by President Trump or any of these other so-called co-conspirators. Nothing. There's no crime. The law doesn't apply here. It doesn't apply to free speech, brothers and sisters. You can say all you want about election fraud. It doesn't. And you know what? They know it's garbage. And here's what else they know: the venues in which they're doing this are all heavily anti-Trump areas. Washington, D.C. is not going to get a fair trial. These trials are not going to be fair. They will convict him. Where will he win? On appeal. But appeals take a long time. You know where this is eventually going to end up? In the U.S. Supreme Court. No, there's no question about it. In fact, I think, and many commentators have also said, there should be an emergency intervention at the Supreme Court level right now to say, get the courts out of our elections. That's the message right there. Get the judiciary out of our elections. This has never happened before in American history. The judiciary, these biased judges, you got some real lunatics here at work. Biased juries, again, you're talking about heavily Democrat areas. You're talking about Washington, D.C. You're talking about Atlanta, Georgia. Democrat cesspools they are. You're not going to get a fair hearing. So here's what the other side is bargaining on. They know that this is legal crap, but they know that on the local level where the trial is going to be, that they're going to have so much bias that it's not going to be fair and they're going to be able to convict him. Now, they also would admit that if you look at the appeals going up to the circuit level and ultimately to the Supreme Court, he's likely to be vindicated. This stuff, they're going to laugh this stuff out of court. But that's going to, by the time all that happens, it'll be after the election. See, that's the point. What Jack Smith and Fani Willis, Alvin Bragg, what they want to do, they want to get convictions before the election so that the voters are, some voters in the general election, I'm not talking about the Republican base. I think the Republican base, like I said, by March 5th, he's likely to have the Republican nomination wrapped up before the first of these trials dealing with these four indictments. Because right now, unless they keep a January date for the January 6th stuff, the first trial doesn't start until March 25th, 20 days after Super Tuesday. But what the other side is banking on is, let's get a conviction. And then even if we lose on appeal, that'll be after the election. That's not the point, because this is all about election interference, just like President Trump said. You see how this all pans out? It says, let's get voters, again, not in the Republican primary, the general voters. Let's get enough voters to say, I don't want to vote for a convicted felon. That's what they're bargaining on, that some people's support for President Trump would be soft.